some kind of Mike or Mick or Mikey or something. Yeah. He rings up, yeah, mate. I go, yeah. Yes, where are you? I go, in the city, who's this? He goes, no, I know who it is. He goes, and then he goes like this, he goes, oh, you think you're Afghan, mate? So sick. I said, who? Brother, tell me who. Anyway, then he went on and on about it. It's on my phone. Anyway, I said, oh, yeah. Then, where are you? Oh, so I went to Auburn just to see who it is. I just want to go see who it is. Maybe he's got a hot sister or something, you know? Texting that, we're at Uguna KFC now. It's alright, so I went to Uguna KFC, where are you there? We'll go, catch up another guy, who is it? And they go, don't worry.
Pasquale Barbaro, a name that once echoed through the vibrant streets of Sydney, was more than just a criminal. He was a symbol of the dangerous allure of the underworld. A man whose life seemed like a dazzling dream, marked by extravagant parties, luxury cars, and connections to some of Australia's most feared criminal figures. Yet beneath the glamour was a darker, more brutal reality, a life caught between wealth and violence, opulence and danger. This video unravels the complexities of Pasquale Barbaro's life, a journey from the heights of indulgence to the depths of brutality. His story is a cautionary tale for anyone lured by the seductive pull of the criminal underworld. Born on February 6, 1981, Pasquale Timothy Barbaro entered a world already steeped in crime. His father, Yippa Joe Barbaro, was a key figure in the notorious Calabrian mafia family, with ties reaching deep into Griffith and Melbourne. Recognizing the peril of his family's criminal connections, Pasquale's mother, Cheryl Gilroy, tried to shield her son by moving to Brisbane in 1983. But fate had other plans. At just 9 years old, Pasquale was pulled back into the orbit of his father's world, a descent that would ultimately define his life. Unlike other children, Pasquale's lessons didn't come from textbooks. His education was forged in the dark, dangerous corridors of organized crime. By his teenage years, he was already well versed in the family business. Drug trafficking, extortion, and the mafia's unbreakable code of silence. His criminal record grew, with arrests for armed robbery, burglary, and heroin possession. The family ties that bound him were both a blessing and a curse. They provided him with resources, power, and protection, but they also set expectations that pushed him deeper into the underworld. The Barbaro family's ties to organized crime ran deep. They were not just a local mafia. They were connected to the Andretta family, one of Italy's most powerful crime syndicates. This legacy of violence, secrecy, and criminal enterprise shaped Pasquale's worldview. From a young age, he understood that loyalty to the family came before everything, even morality and the law. His grandfather, Pasquale Peter Barbaro, was murdered in 1990, allegedly for betraying the family. His cousin, Pasquale Little Pat Barbaro, was gunned down alongside notorious gangster Jason Morin in 2003. These events, tragic as they were harbingers of the life that Pasquale was destined to lead. A life full of bloodshed, betrayal, and a never-ending pursuit of power. But Pasquale wasn't content with simply being a shadow of his notorious relatives. He wanted to carve out his own name in the criminal world, and by the early 2000s, he was fully entrenched in illegal activities. In October 2002, he was arrested for his involvement in a large-scale methamphetamine ring, working alongside his father. The Australian Federal Police, AFP, and New South Wales Police worked together to bring down the operation, resulting in a 9-year prison sentence for Pasquale, with a minimum of 6 years. But prison, instead of slowing him down, became another place for him to network, plan, and grow his influence. In 2006, while still behind bars, Pasquale was hit with an additional 5-year sentence for an armed robbery committed years earlier. His release in 2008 marked a brief return to freedom, but it didn't last long. In 2012, he was arrested again, this time for the production of methamphetamine at various properties in New South Wales. Authorities set his bail at a staggering $350,000, recognizing the significant threat he posed. Yet, despite his ongoing legal troubles, Pasquale's reputation in the underworld continued to rise. He wasn't just a member of the Barbaro crime family anymore. He was a force to be reckoned with. His criminal exploits didn't stop there. In 2013, Pasquale joined the notorious Brothers for Life gang, solidifying his position within Australia's criminal elite. Known for their violent enforcement tactics, the gang gave him new power, new opportunities, and a fresh network of allies. It was within this circle that he hosted a lavish party aboard a luxury yacht on Sydney Harbour, attended by some of the most feared figures in Australian organised crime. Pasquale Barbaro was not your typical criminal. He craved attention, luxury, and recognition. His lifestyle was meticulously curated and flaunted on social media. Instagram became his platform of choice, where he showcased his wealth with unapologetic bravado. Exotic vacations, designer clothes, Lamborghinis, expensive watches. These were just a few of the symbols of his ostentatious life. Through his posts, he built an image of invincibility, a life of excess that many admired, even if they knew it was built on blood and crime. But as is often the case with those who live in the shadows of the underworld, the price of such a life is always steep. What seemed like a world of endless parties, luxury, and power was only a facade, masking the ever-present danger of betrayal, law enforcement, and deadly rivalries. Pasquale Barbaro's life serves as a powerful reminder that the allure of the criminal world often leads to a life of violence, turmoil, and ultimately, downfall. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the complex and dangerous life of Pasquale Barbaro, a man who, despite his wealth and influence, couldn't escape the dark legacy of his family or the brutal realities of the world he chose to inhabit. Pasquale Barbaro, the self-made figurehead of luxury and violence, thrived on an image that screamed power and success. His world, filled with Lamborghinis, designer clothes, extravagant parties, and flashy displays, wasn't just about wealth, it was a performance. Every luxury item, every meticulously crafted moment on social media, every ostentatious gesture was a declaration of his place at the top of the criminal world. To him, this wasn't merely an indulgence. It was a shield, a testament to his power in an underworld that demanded respect and loyalty. His lifestyle wasn't just about showing off. It was about creating an untouchable persona. Yet, in the perilous world he inhabited, that very persona would become his undoing. It was a double-edged sword. While it solidified his status among his peers, it painted an enormous target on his back. His every move was watched, not just by law enforcement, but by rival criminals, hungry for power and willing to do anything to take it from him. The more he sought recognition, the more he became a magnet for danger. The stark reality of the life he had chosen became terrifyingly clear in November 2015, when an assassination attempt was made on his life. 6 shots rang out near his home in Laird. A brutal, relentless attack, yet by some miracle, Pasquale survived. The assailant, Hamid Assad, was no stranger to the criminal world. This was not some random act of violence. It was a calculated attempt to eliminate a man who had become too powerful, too visible, too dangerous. Despite the gravity of this attempt on his life, Pasquale remained unbowed. He knew this world. He knew its risks, its betrayals, and its brutal code. He understood that survival required more than just a sharp mind. It demanded that you live each day with the awareness that your time could end at any moment. The assassination attempt didn't slow him down. Instead, it heightened his paranoia. Yet he continued to live on the edge, consumed by the very power he craved. It became a part of him, as much as the luxury and recognition he surrounded himself with. Pasquale's life was a constant balancing act. Wealth and success came hand in hand with violence, betrayal, and the ever-present specter of death. But in this world, nothing lasts forever. The relentless pursuit of power and recognition eventually led to Pasquale's tragic, inevitable downfall. Despite his bravado and calculated defiance, the risks of his lifestyle caught up with him in ways he couldn't control. The pressure of constant betrayal, shifting alliances, and deadly rivalries pushed him to a fateful decision, one that would seal his doom. In a surprising turn, Pasquale made the choice to cooperate with the police. It was a decision made out of desperation, a last-ditch effort to protect his family and preserve what was left of his life. But in the world of organized crime, becoming an informant is a death sentence. Everyone knew it, and Pasquale was no exception. The very nature of his existence in the underworld made such an action a betrayal, one that couldn't be forgiven. The most dangerous of his rivals, Hamid Assad, was a constant presence in Pasquale's life, a simmering rivalry that escalated over time, pushing both men toward a violent confrontation. That deadly feud culminated in the November 2015 assassination attempt. But the true price of Pasquale's decision would come a year later. On November 14, 2016, Pasquale's life came to a brutal, bloody end. It was an execution, cold and calculated. Pasquale was gunned down outside the home of construction boss George Alex in Earlwood. The hit was carried out with chilling precision. As he sat in his Mercedes, an Audi Q7 pulled up alongside him. From the backseat, Joshua Baines fired multiple shots into his vehicle before Sultani, a key member of Abuza al-Sultan's crew, pursued him as he tried to flee. With cold determination, Sultani fired several more rounds into Pasquale's body as he collapsed. The execution was swift, merciless, and a chilling reminder of the price one pays for betraying the criminal underworld. The aftermath was equally swift. Within 2 weeks, police made arrests. But by then, Pasquale's story was over, his life a testament to the brutal, unforgiving world of organized crime. His once vibrant image of power, luxury, and invincibility crumbled under the weight of the very risks he had courted throughout his life. Pasquale Barbaro's story serves as a haunting reminder that in the pursuit of fame, fortune, and power within the criminal world, there is always a cost. And for those who dare to play, the price is often deadly. The rise and fall of Pasquale Barbaro stands as one of the most haunting and dramatic tales in the criminal underworld. For years, Barbaro was not just a figure among many. He was a towering presence, a key player in Sydney's ruthless criminal empire, a man whose connections spanned continents and whose power was undeniable. But when he was murdered, it wasn't just his life that was taken. His sudden and violent demise sent shockwaves throughout the entire underworld, unraveling the intricate web of crime that had once been held together by his influence. Pasquale's death left a profound and chaotic void, one that ignited a fierce power struggle between rival factions. The streets became even more dangerous as criminal syndicates fought to fill the gap left by his absence. Without Barbaro's dominance over drug routes and illegal operations, the balance of power in Sydney's underworld was shattered, plunging all involved into a ruthless, dog-eat-dog war. It wasn't just about money anymore, it was about survival. For those who had once thrived under Barbaro's reign, this new reality was a stark reminder that, in their world, any moment could be their last. The very day Barbaro was gunned down, the ramifications were immediate. It didn't take long for law enforcement to capitalize on the disarray within the criminal ranks. The police, long struggling to penetrate the fortress-like organizations that ruled the streets, now found opportunities to infiltrate, disrupt, and dismantle entire operations. As fear and paranoia spread throughout the underworld, law enforcement intensified their efforts, targeting key players and launching operations that led to multiple arrests, seizures, and a significant destabilization of organized crime. But for all the damage done to the criminal networks, Barbaro's death sent a far deeper, more chilling message. It wasn't just that a kingpin had been taken out. It was that even a man as entrenched in power as Pasquale could be eliminated so suddenly, so violently. In a world where betrayal and blood are the currency of survival, the reality of such a brutal end hit hard. No amount of wealth, no level of influence could shield you from the consequences of your choices in the underworld. The constant threat of death hung over every criminal's head, reminding them that safety was an illusion and loyalty was fleeting. For those who knew Barbaro, and even for those who merely respected or feared his legacy, his death marked the end of an era. His story became a symbol of the ultimate cost of a life lived in the shadows, a reminder of the deadly dance between power, betrayal, and violence. Pascale's flamboyant lifestyle, his social media displays of wealth, and his constant pursuit of recognition had made him both a feared and envied figure. But they also made him a target. His decision to turn police informant, his ultimate act of betrayal, sealed his fate. In a world governed by loyalty, such a breach of trust could never go unpunished. When Pascale's murder finally came, it was not just an act of retribution. It was a statement, loud and clear. In the underworld, there are no second chances. For Barbaro, the weight of his decisions crushed him in the end, and his death underscored the harsh reality that even the most powerful can fall. His assassination in 2016 was the beginning of the end for his criminal empire, but it also marked the beginning of a brutal power vacuum. The gangs and families that once answered to him now scrambled to assert their dominance. As old alliances crumbled and new players rose to the forefront, the underworld became a battlefield of shifting loyalties and growing fears. With each new power struggle, with each new betrayal, the entire criminal network became more volatile, more dangerous, and more unpredictable. The lasting legacy of Pasquale Barbaro's death is one of profound tragedy, but also of stark truth. The life he lived, marked by excess, power, and violence, ultimately led him to a violent and abrupt end. His story serves as a cautionary tale for anyone who dares to walk the fine line between criminal success and inevitable destruction. Pasquale Barbaro was a man whose life was defined by choices, some of them brilliant, others fatal. He was a product of a system that rewarded ruthlessness and loyalty to the wrong cause. His assassination didn't just erase a key figure. It shattered the foundations of the criminal empire he had built and left behind a landscape of destruction. As the underworld continues to shift in the wake of his death, his legacy serves as a chilling reminder. In this world, the pursuit of power is as dangerous as it is fleeting. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of true crime. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. What are your thoughts on Pasquale Barbaro's life and legacy? Let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned for more stories that peel back the layers of crime, power, and tragedy. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.